Millennials from America's evangelical movement were shouting Hosanna in Nashville this week. Since the 1970s, the influential Southern Baptists strummed along with the Republican Party. They gave candidates their Christian song sheet and would-be presidents hummed along. So what do these young conservatives make of the gang of 10 Fox will unleash upon the nation tonight?
Governor Jeb Bush, Florida, welcome.
First for the Inquisition, Jeb Bush, whose political pedigree and deep pockets should have given him a head start in the race to be president.
Abortion should not be funded by the government, any government in my mind. So life should be cherished. It's a gift from God from beginning to end. And if people are in vulnerable circumstances, government has a duty to help.
Jeb Bush is trying to evangelize the evangelicals, and they have a list of godly demands. They want him to enact policies against same-sex marriage, against abortion. But the biggest challenge for Jeb Bush is not so much his message, but that his words are at risk of being drowned out by a certain maverick candidate who's not even here, Donald Trump.
Jeb Bush will never take us to the promised land. He doesn't have it. Jeb will be very poor as a president, no energy.
He's a little bit of a rebel, a little bit of a troublemaker, I guess, in some ways, and I guess I kind of like that about him.
I want to make our country great again.
No comment on Donald Trump.
You're not drinking that medicine?
I'm not.
I made a lot of money with The Apprentice. I made a lot of money in real estate. I made a lot of money, everything I did. I've had great success.
I like a lot of stuff that he says. I'm not sure if he means all of it yet, but I like where he's going, so if he backs it up and stays that way, I think he'll make a great candidate.
They would get a job.
Currently behind both Bush and Trump, Wisconsin Governor Scott Walker polls at 11%, but has experience and finance on his side. Mike Huckabee has strong Christian credentials. Both are strictly Old Testament when it comes to defending Israel, hating the Iran deal, and bemoaning everything President Obama has done since he's been in office. Ben Carson is a gifted neurosurgeon, not shy of a stunt to show he can be fun too.
Right, well, let's start.
And as his own promotional material says, Cuba Gooding Jr. once played him in a telemovie. Perhaps he'll do.
I've read a lot and heard a lot about Ben Carson over the years, and I really like Ben Carson. He has ideas in line with what I believe.
Of course, in Texas, we cook bacon a little differently than most folks.
It is the Texan Senator Ted Cruz who Donald Trump's success has cost the most, which is perhaps why his antics this week have been so extreme. Yes, this really is a man who wants to be president cooking bacon on an automatic weapon in a country where 30,000 people are killed by guns every year.
Machine gun bacon.
Marco Rubio, the promising senator from Florida, is a guest at the Christian conference via video link and pledges to defend Christ's followers against the forces of evil, even if it means American boots on the ground again in the Middle East.
If the choice is between ISIS wins or ISIS loses, we're going to choose ISIS loses. And if that means that the only choice left before us is to commit American troops to defeating them, that is most certainly an option that would be on the table for us to consider and move forward on.
Libertarian candidate Rand Paul is opposed to frivolous wars, but is moved to violence when it comes to the tax code. And closing out the lineup, one fears for lack of entertainment value, two governors, from New Jersey, Chris Christie, and Ohio's John Kasich.
We pray for the men and women in both parties who are running for president of the United States.
Despite the largest field in Republican history, there is no single ideal candidate to pray for. Perhaps the time when the most conservative Christians played kingmaker is over.
The idea of a Christian America to most people in America is more of a threat than an ideal. And if we were ever a moral majority, it's hard to make the case that we are anymore.
Like the church, the Republicans are entering a new era where the campaign runs at a digital pace. There's unbounded money for slick productions and messaging, and maverick candidates have stormed the walls of the temple. But of one thing we can be sure, for the Democrats and Hillary Clinton, the longer this show runs, the better.